Alrighty. Hello, world. So, this is minor diet changes for major benefits. This is a little follow up from a nutritional PowerPoint voiceover I posted a few days ago. Um, it's just got some tips and tricks and some personal preferences and recipes that maybe you could take away something from it. But first, meal prepping. That's very key. Fail to prepare, prepare to fail. You know that saying. If you have it readily available and it's somewhat convenient, those other fast food and real convenient things don't seem as tempting, and you're more likely to stay on track. You can do it once a week. You can do it twice a week. I prefer to do it twice a week. Keeps the food fresher, and I also like to cook. So, doing it on Sunday and a Wednesday is, not a big deal. You could find at least one day, if not 2 days a week, where you can make meals and have leftovers for multiple days. Another thing is don't drink your calories. That's a good rule to follow. That's pretty much keeping your liquid intake to water, coffee, tea, without adding all the sugar and just the sugar-filled creamers or whatever it may be. If you can, try to drink black coffee. Stay away from adding calories by way of liquid, and that includes smoothies and especially juices. It's good, and you get that vitamin boost. I would do it. I do juice every once in a while, and I definitely will have a smoothie every now and again, but don't depend on that as your fruits and vegetables, because it takes out a lot of the fiber. And what fiber does is it slows the process down of how you're absorbing the sugar, which that gets us to glycemic index, and that's going to come up a few times, especially when we're talking about breads and such. You don't have to cut out bread. There's better options, and you could still eat bread, but glycemic index is the hit that your body takes, the hit that it takes into your blood system. Having that fiber makes it a slower absorption. You could have the same amount of sugar, but with more fiber, it's not going to be released in your body as quickly. That's where high fructose corn syrup comes in, and that's why it's so bad. It doesn't have fiber, and it's just this immediate hit on your blood sugar levels, and that's why you get this peak of energy for a very short time, and then you have those crashes. And that's why you eat more carbs, and you don't realize that they may not be healthy carbs, and they're high in sugar, low in fiber, and you just go through these peaks and valleys all day. So with that, let's get going. First thing is bread. So a lot of people cut out bread when they're on a diet, which is, for the most part, a pretty good starting point. Cutting out bread and soda and unnecessary sugar that's low in fiber, like we were just talking about. But sometimes that could be too extreme, and it could be real defeating especially when you're trying to make these incremental changes. And that's what it's really all about, is slow changes that you can do for a long period of time, a lifetime. It's a lifestyle, right? It's not just a diet for a month. You're trying to be healthy for a long period of time. So two healthy bread options would be sourdough and rye. These have a lower glycemic index. It doesn't hit that blood as quick. We've all heard about whole wheat. That's also a better option than white bread or something of that nature. Some good brands would be like a Dave's Killer Bread, that whole grain. When you get all those seeds and everything in it, it's a good source of fat. So you got sourdough, rye bread, Dave's Killer Bread, Ezekiel bread. That's another good one. That's sprouted bread. It's sprouted, meaning that think of it as living. They have tortillas that are sprouted too. Sometimes this could be it's a little bit of a flavor difference, a little different flavor profile. You might have to get used to it, but it's living, which is what you want out of your food, is living food that naturally decays and, it doesn't have all those preservatives in it. So that's something you gotta remember, is keep in mind that without all those preservatives, it's not gonna last as long. It doesn't have the same shelf life, and it'll go bad pretty quick. I've lost a few Ezekiel bread loaves that I barely got into because I wasn't, being real on it about it. So just know that if you make the transition to like an Ezekiel bread or something sprouted, it is going to go bad quicker, just a shorter shelf life. So, but it's good stuff. Like with anything, we should be seeking low sugar, high in fiber. I know that keeps coming up, but can't stress it enough, you can eat the same amount of sugar and get more fiber, and it's much more easy on the digestive process in your system, and you're not taking the hit to the bloodstream, and you're not getting those, crashes, and it's better for sleep at night and things like that too. That brings us to fruits and vegetables. So first things first, either one, avoid canned as much as you can. The same goes for beans. I know that one's hard to avoid, canned beans. It's, unless you want to make your own beans from scratch, but especially with fruits and vegetables, when there's other options that are not a big inconvenience. The problem with canned things is more preservatives, of course, and it's higher. Those fruits are going to be higher in sugar, and the vegetables are going to be high in sodium, and those are both things you don't want to add extra to your diet. Sugar and sodium aren't terrible, but at the proportion size that we can get them inside a can that's just coated in high fructose corn syrup that those peaches are sitting in or something, that's where it becomes an issue. Good alternative is always, or the best option is always fresh. That's in its natural form and whole. You get all the fiber. But frozen, there's no real problem with frozen. It's a great option, especially as for backup, because if you're eating fresh fruits and vegetables, even if you're eating a lot of them, chances are you're probably going to have some go bad, and at times that you aren't anticipating it, which those are times that you don't want an unwarranted cheat meal. So having those fresh or the frozen ones around in case the fresh ones go bad is a good way to be prepared. That's where, meal prepping, you don't have to literally put these in containers and everything. Part of meal prepping could be just having backup options so that you don't, fall off the wagon when you don't want to. Cheat meals are great, but if it's not a planned cheat meal, it's kind of a letdown, right? So breakfast is, that's the start of your day, and they say, it's the most important meal and whatnot. And, you try to make that your healthiest meal, because the stronger you start, the stronger you finish. And cravings are a big thing. What your stomach craves, what it sends to your brain, all starts from the beginning of the day. If you start your day with donuts every day, your lunch and your dinner and your snacks you're gonna crave more sugar and things like that. Start with something, whole and healthy. And even if you have dessert at night, that's at the end of your day, and you're about to go to sleep, and it may have an effect on your blood sugar, but at least you didn't start your day with donuts or ice cream or whatever it may be. Even breakfast foods, when you're eating out, looking at a menu, try to keep that in mind. Try to avoid the pancakes and the French toast, eggs, some vegetables, things like that. And the general cereal options are usually not the best. It's a lot of sugar, and a lot of it's processed, and the nutrients is taken out. So, some better options than your Cinnamon Toast Crunch or Fruit Loops, or even Raisin Bran. Some better options would be healthy whole grain and oats. So like you would oatmeal is a good choice. I'm not trying to make it too complicated, but something watch out buying the instant oatmeal. Some of it you could get twice as much sugar than another brand or another kind. Like, try to avoid getting that the extra sugar as much as you can. Something I like to do with my oatmeal is I add banana, raw honey, and cinnamon, maybe some peanut butter. Those are all good things, especially to start your day. You get the potassium and such with the banana. Honey's great and very nutritious. And cinnamon, that's antioxidant, speaks for itself. It's promotes, weight loss and things of that nature. Many beneficial properties there. Another option for a good morning meal would be sourdough toast with avocado. I love it. You can add an egg, maybe 2 eggs on top, and it tastes delicious. It's one of my favorites. And yeah. So I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh, tortillas. Corn tortillas over flour any day of the week. That's the best way to go. Yeah, definitely corn tortillas over flour. And there's other options for tortillas, like we were talking about with the sprouted wheat. That's a living thing. You want to put living things into your body. Even, meat is decaying, and that's a non-living thing. So that's why you got to watch eating too much meat. You want to, make sure you get those vegetables and such. Yeah, I hope this helped, just maybe get the wheels turning. If you have any questions or wondering what, this or that, like what's better, just like the tortilla thing, it's a very easy adjustment. Corn over flour. I don't know about you, but my preference is even corn tortillas are delicious. I would way rather have a corn tortilla. And if that's a healthier option, then that's a win-win, Well, thanks for watching. Check out the nutritional PowerPoint if this, sparked your interest, and keep a lookout. I found another PowerPoint that I did for, I think, the same speech class that was on steroids and the harmful effects of steroids, and how it's being how teenagers are being pressured into it, or feeling, or how it affects the youth, is the best way to put it, I guess. And I'm gonna do a follow-up on that one regarding supplements, the good and the bad, the good and the ugly, whatever you want to say. So keep a lookout for the supplement follow-up on the steroid PowerPoint voiceover as well. Yeah, signing off. Have a great day, and hope to see you back.